How many times have you said, I'll start tomorrow? And how many times has that tomorrow turned into next week, next month, next year? You're stuck in the tomorrow trap. And today, we're going to reveal why your brain keeps pushing things off and the surprising way to stop it. Welcome to MindSpark Psychology. Today, we're exposing the real psychology of procrastination and why willpower will never work. Procrastination. We all know it, we all live it. You need to do that project. But somehow, you find yourself lost in social media. You need to send that email. But first, you decide you need to clean the kitchen. You need to start that task. But your brain tells you to do 100 other things. And worst of all, you tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, the same cycle starts again. Now, what do most people tell you? Be more disciplined. Work harder. Set better goals. But here's the truth. None of it works because procrastination is not a time management problem. It's an emotional problem. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that is because once you understand this cycle, you can break it. Let's begin. First, let's clarify something. Procrastination is not laziness. Most people confuse this. Oh, I'm lazy, they say. I'm just undisciplined. But this is wrong because lazy people don't want to do anything. They don't have energy. But you, when you procrastinate, you're doing other things, aren't you? You're cleaning the kitchen, you're scrolling on your phone, you're watching videos. So you have energy. You're just spending it on the wrong things. So why does this happen? The answer is simple. Your brain is trying to protect you, but protect you from what? It's trying to protect you from discomfort, because here's the real secret of procrastination. Procrastination is an emotional avoidance strategy. Let me explain. Every task has an emotional cost. Maybe sending that email brings fear of rejection. Maybe starting that project brings fear of failure. Maybe finishing that task brings fear of not being perfect. And what does your brain do? To protect you from those feelings, it delays the task. Because if you don't start, you can't fail, right? If you don't try, you can't be rejected, right? This is the real reason for procrastination. This is not a logical problem. This is an emotional defense mechanism. And once you understand this, everything changes. Because now you're not asking yourself, why am I so lazy? Now you're asking, what emotions am I avoiding in this task? And that question gives you the real answer. Now, let's go deeper. You have two systems in your brain. First, the limbic system. This is your emotion center. It's fast, it's powerful, and it wants instant rewards. Second, the prefrontal cortex. This is your logic center. It's slow, it's weak, and it wants long-term goals. Now, what happens when you need to do a task? Your prefrontal cortex says, we need to do this task. It will be good for us in the long run. But your limbic system says, no, this task is uncomfortable. I want to feel good now. And here a conflict begins. Your prefrontal cortex uses logic. It makes plans, it sets goals, but your limbic system uses emotions. And emotions are always more powerful. This is why willpower doesn't work, because willpower relies on your prefrontal cortex. And your prefrontal cortex is a limited resource. You wake up in the morning, your willpower is high. I'm going to do everything today, you say. But as the day goes on, your willpower depletes. And when evening comes, your limbic system wins. And you find yourself on the couch watching Netflix. This is why the advice, be more disciplined, doesn't work. Because discipline is a limited resource. And when used constantly, it runs out. So what's the solution? The solution is not to use willpower. The solution is to change the environment. And this is called temporal discounting. Temporal discounting is when your brain sees the present reward as more valuable than the future reward. For example, if I asked you, would you take $100 now or $200 in a year? Most people would choose the $100. Logically, $200 is better, but emotionally, now is more attractive, and procrastination works the same way. Your brain says doing this task will be good in the future, but watching Netflix will be good now. And now, always wins. So how do we change this? This is where we need to hack the system. Procrastination is not one size fits all. Different people procrastinate for different reasons. And understanding your procrastination type is the first step to solving it. Here are the three main types. Type number 1, fear-based procrastination. This is the most common type. You are afraid of failing, afraid of being judged, afraid of not being perfect, so you never start. Because if you don't start, you can't fail. This type of procrastination is usually seen in perfectionists. They say, if I do it, it must be perfect, and if it can't be perfect, I shouldn't do it at all. And the result? They do nothing. If this is you, the problem isn't your willpower. The problem is your standards. Type number 2, boredom-based procrastination. This type appears when the task is boring. Your brain says, this task doesn't give rewards, so I don't want to do it. And then you find more fun things. Social media, games, videos, because these give instant rewards. If this is you, the problem isn't your discipline. The problem is your reward system. Type number 3, decision fatigue-based procrastination. This type appears when there are too many options. Where should I start? Which task is more important? This one or that one? And in the end, you do nothing, because making a decision is too exhausting. If this is you, the problem isn't your motivation. The problem is complexity. Now, ask yourself, which type are you? Because each type requires a different solution. Now, let's get to the most important part, solutions. But remember, we won't use willpower. We'll hack the system. Here's step-by-step how to stop procrastinating. Step number 1, shrink the task, the 2-minute rule. Your brain fears big tasks. When you say write a report, your brain panics because this takes hours. But when you say just write the intro paragraph, your brain relaxes because this takes 2 minutes. Here's the secret. Reduce the task to a tiny step, so small that it's impossible to refuse. Instead of exercise, put on workout clothes. Instead of finish the project, open the file. Instead of clean the house, wash one dish. Because once you start, continuing is much easier. This is called activation energy. Starting is the hardest part, but once you start, momentum builds. Step number 2, design the environment. Reduce friction. Don't trust your willpower. Trust your environment. If your phone distracts you, put it in another room. If your computer draws you to games, delete the game apps. If snacks tempt you to eat, don't keep them at home because every obstacle increases your chance of procrastinating, and every ease increases your chance of starting. This is why make good behaviors easy, make bad behaviors hard. Step number 3, make time visible. The Pomodoro Technique. Your brain doesn't see time visually. When you say work for 2 hours, it feels infinite. But when you say work for 25 minutes, it feels manageable. This is why the Pomodoro Technique works. Work for 25 minutes. Take a 5-minute break. It's that simple, because 25 minutes is a duration your brain can handle. And once 25 minutes is done, you usually want to continue. Step number 4, recognize your emotions. Stop avoiding. Remember, procrastination is emotional avoidance. So face your emotions. Ask yourself, what emotion am I avoiding in this task? Maybe fear of failure, maybe fear of rejection, maybe fear of not being good enough. Once you recognize this emotion, name it. Oh, this is fear of failure. And then remind yourself, this is just an emotion. It won't kill me. Because emotions aren't dangerous. They're just uncomfortable. And discomfort is part of growth. Step number 5, connect with your future self. Remember temporal discounting? Your brain sees the future reward as worthless, but you can change this. How? See your future self as a real person. Ask yourself, how will the me 6 months from now feel about today's decisions? Maybe grateful because you finished that project, maybe proud because you built that habit, or maybe regretful because you did nothing. Think of your future self as a friend and prepare a good life for them. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It's your brain's way of protecting you. But now you know the rules, you know the system, and most importantly, you know how to hack it. Remember, willpower is limited, but the system is infinite. Take small steps, design the environment, face your emotions, and once you start, momentum creates itself. Don't fall into the tomorrow trap, because tomorrow never comes. The only real time is now. Did what I shared in this video resonate with you? Leave a comment. Because sometimes, taking the first step is the biggest victory. Until the next video, take care of yourself. And remember, you are much stronger than you think.